would you want to live in Portugal? What would be the reason? Why do I like to live in Portugal? The main 4 reasons you should consider to live in Portugal as well. I'm Natalie and I make videos about life as an expat right now in Portugal. I moved here I got here in May, but I officially moved here in October, I guess. So it's about half a year now since I enjoyed living in Portugal. And the main reason I stayed and decided not to, go somewhere else or go back where I came from. Cheers, by the way. If you have a coffee, please, grab one or some drink, because this is just a talking video. One of the main reasons I really enjoyed living and actually ending up staying here for the foreseeable future is the people. There's so many people I encountered, Portuguese people. They're very friendly, very forthcoming, and very helpful. I had neighbors that helped me to get stuff done, like in official office manners. I had to get the registered or needed healthcare number figured out, because my limited or non-existing Portuguese, unfortunately, they were a big help with that. I also had people just saying, started talking to you, and they were interested in your life, where you came from, what your story was, without asking them any questions. They just are very friendly and outgoing, and they like to share, and they like to and know about other people. So even in the little small villages, I lived for about 2 months in a very small community by Castelo Branco, about half an hour and 40 minutes, probably 40 minutes from Castelo Branco. And there too, the elderly people that lived in there, they were in that town, this little village, were very helpful, and they were very, friendly. They always said "Bon dia" or "But," whatever. Like, as soon as they saw you walk by, they were acknowledging you. They weren't ignoring you. They acknowledged your presence, I guess. And if I would have spoke a little more Portuguese, or any Portuguese at the time, I probably would have been able to even have conversations with them, because I know they like to talk about their culture and their way of life, and and they like to hear about what goes on in other places. So very friendly, really helpful, very supportive, easygoing, and really caring. And they always bring you fruit and vegetables, and they knock on your door and bring you whatever. So, and all you need to do is smile and say, "Bon dia" or "But," and that's all you need to do. And they're friendly, and helpful. So some other countries, they're not like that, or it takes longer to warm up. Another reason I enjoy living here is the produce just tastes better, because it's, I guess, a lot less, even if they're imported from other European countries. They taste way fresher, like the vegetables and the fruit taste fresher. And some of them you can't keep as long because they're so fresh, so you need to, consume them quicker. You might have to go shopping more often and buy less. When it comes to produce, also have a lot of farmers markets. Like here, every week is one, summer, winter, whatever. And when it's warmer and not so rainy, it's also outdoors. There's more stalls outdoors, and when in the winter it's more indoors. But even in the winter, it's still, because sometimes it's 20 degrees out and it's sunny, even though it's winter. It cools down faster, and it's not like that at night. In nighttime it's cold, but during the day it's still warm. So a lot of activities are still happening outside. That's, you know, like the markets, and you buy the produce and fresh. So yeah, that's a big plus. I know in some cities in Canada or in the US you have farmers markets and you can go and buy fresh fruit and vegetables, but then probably don't taste the same unless they're, you know, homegrown. But then the prices are higher. Here I think the prices are more reasonable. They're not cheap, but they're more reasonable, I think, than some places in other places in the world. So I like the fresh produce. I also like the food. It just tastes better in when you go and get invited for dinners or whatever, or lunch or you go to the restaurants. The food seems to taste better. The nature, you know, you got the big coastline from northern Portugal or northern Spain. You know, the coast goes all the way down to the Algarve. That's amazing, and the beautiful coastline. North is different than the south, obviously, and then all the interior. You got all the hills, and there's a lot of untouched nature, a lot of wildlife, like a lot of birds and smaller whatever wildlife. They don't have bears, but I think they do have some kind of wolves somewhere in the mountains, and there's some other animals. I don't know exactly what they're all called, but there's a lot of wildlife, and yeah, nature is beautiful. There's different areas, obviously, in Portugal. The north is different than the south, again, and the central Portugal, where I am, is different. A lot of, you know, the big rivers, the Tejo River, and I can't remember the other river. And the landscape is just beautiful. So wherever you go, there's some beauty it's a scene, not just on the coast. There's mountains too. There's even snow on the mountains. There's little ski hills in the Stirla Mountains. I think they did say they had some snow this winter, and I don't know if there was some skiing or not, but I didn't really pay attention, but because I wanted to get away from the skiing, the winter anyway. So, and the fourth reason is the weather. Even though freezing cold in the winter, like I did that video, I link it up here, about how cold it is in Portugal in the winter. It's just more, not cold, not the same cold as in Canada, but because of the houses are not being insulated, it's a different cold. But there's still, like, I don't know, 300 days of sun. Like, there's not too many places you get that unless you gotta go further south. Yeah, like even in the winter, there's the sun out and it can be 20 degrees. I saw it outside on my porch one time on the other place where I lived, and I had a t-shirt on. It was hot, and it was like January, so the sun was beaming. You know, I could have gotten a sunburn. So yeah, it's very different. It is also better for my mental health, having more sun and more sunlight, because it's hard for me. I get like the seasonal affective disorder. So those are the main factors that made me stay in Portugal and make me still like Portugal, even though I stayed here for a while now. You know, I can make my own opinions, I guess. And you notice that there's no facts about bureaucracy or any kind of laws or visa requirements, or I don't know, any of that is in this video, because that's not the deciding factor for me, and shouldn't be for you either, to live in another country. Obviously, if it's very difficult, and some of these factors like I said, I didn't talk about, because just where you're from or whatever you're used to, of course, then, you know, that's up to you. It's a very personal reason why some people like the country or not. This is just my opinion of what I think. I enjoy living here. And I said that I made another video about, things that I'm not a big fan of, that are like this in the country. And everybody has different experiences, but yeah, it's up to you. What do you enjoy and what do you like? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment what you like about Portugal, and you agree with my choices, or maybe you have some other ones I haven't mentioned, because it's just a short video. There's not a half an hour you can, maybe you could, but I don't see the point of talking for half an hour to tell you what I like about Portugal. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your opinions are, and make sure you watch these other videos where I talk about the not so cool things about living here, the challenges. And see you in the next one, where I'm going to talk about the tools I use to live here and the tools I use to make it easier to move to Portugal. Tools meaning apps and some information you might benefit from in the process of moving here or staying in Portugal when you come from another country. Okay, see you in one of these.